Hello everyone, it's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft. Welcome back to the channel. I have a process video for you today that is using up some very old, well not very old, but using up scraps from my stash. It's a birthday themed collection that I purchased several months ago as part of a Scrapbook and Cards Today inspiration series that I did. And I still have stuff left over. I have a lot of the embellishments, not so much a lot of paper, but you'll see that how I'm gonna make that work for this layout. But I wanted to use it up, and I wanted to use it in a way that was not birthday themed. So a lot of the stuff that I'm using is just sort of celebratory. So you could use it for any sort of event where you're celebrating something. So for instance, in this layout, I'm going to be using a screenshot photo of my friends and I during a high school tour for our 20th high school reunion. I was not there. You'll see the photo. It's covered up right now, but you'll see it in a second. My three friends who still live in the state where we grew up, they went to the tour through the high school and they FaceTimed me while they were there. And then we took a screenshot of the four of us. Anyway, so that's how I'm using today's birthday. That's why this is a birthday, non-birthday layout. And it's also inspired by something that Shimelle did during one of her lives during the month of October, which is this month. November, during November. It says November. Oh my gosh. I don't even know where we are in the timeline. But anyway, so I took a stencil. And it's a triangle stencil. And I took some Pop Art Pink shimmers. I don't know if they still make that color, but it's a really pretty color. I like it a lot. And I just sprayed it through the stencil. And then I really wanted to help it dry so that I could get on with this layout. So I broke out my heat tool and I just helped that dry along. Always do the front and the back to make sure, it's supposed to make sure that your paper, your cardstock doesn't get warpy. Sometimes it still does. And I'm not using Vicki Boutin foundation paper for this one. If I had been, I wouldn't have really needed to worry about that because that cardstock is so thick, it doesn't warp at all. Instead, I'm using just a regular white piece of cardstock. I'm not sure of the manufacturer. But it will warp just a tad. So get that heat gun, get that heat tool at the ready. I did some paper tearing off camera to get things started. So I had a birthday themed paper pad from Michael's that I purchased several months ago, earlier this year. And I took some paper that said yay, and I cut a strip for the left-hand side, or I didn't cut it, I tore it. I tore a strip for the left-hand side and a strip for the right-hand side. And I did it off camera because at first I wasn't going to film myself making this. And then I was like, you know what? I should do this because something about this layout is just a really great reminder of all the different things that I like doing with scrapbooking and that I don't always do, like using the stencils. So many times people use stencils with just ink and an ink dauber, and I don't really have ink pads. I have misting sprays, but it's still fun to use the misting sprays with the stencils and create different looks. And I've done a couple process videos where I've done that before, and there was even a really cool Vicki Boutin technique. I can't remember what it was called, but if I can remember, I'll try to link that video below so you can see it's sort of like a dual sprayed stencil thing, and it looks really cool. It makes a really neat background. So there are lots of fun ways to use misting sprays with stencils, and I have so many stencils, I really should be using more of them. So yeah, and it's fun to make your own background too, especially with a kit like this where you have a lot of pieces left over, but you don't have a lot of large pieces. You don't have a 12 by 12 pattern background, or you just have a lot of small scraps. So just take a white piece of cardstock and make your own background, and you've solved yourself a problem. You've bashed your stash, and you've used a lot of materials that you have probably forgotten about. So basically, talking about the stuff, all the little pieces left over, I'm basically just kind of finding items that are not specifically birthday themed. Again, just going for a celebratory type of feel here. And with the pattern papers, a lot of them are just generic patterns. They may have come from a birthday paper pad. Some of them are from the Recollections paper pad. Some of them are from the Honeybee Stamps 6x6 birthday paper pad that I also had purchased as part of this birthday collection. Some of those embellishments are the Echo Park Birthday Girl collection, either stickers or die cuts. And so I'm just finding things that, aren't like a birthday cake or nothing that says happy birthday to you, because that doesn't make sense for this photo. But things with balloons, that's kind of general because we're celebrating our 20th high school reunion, which I can't believe it happened. I had wanted to go, I really did. but they ended up picking a date that did not work for me because I don't live in that same state. I live on a whole different section of the country. So I was already planning to go back to visit family in a different month, and we voted in a Facebook group, and I voted for the date that coincided with when I would be coming into town, and it didn't get voted for. So that's okay. Maybe for I guess the next one, I don't know. Do you do them every 10 years? I remember that there was one for our 10-year reunion. So I guess we have to wait for the 30-year reunion, I guess, which I don't even want to think about that. 30 years is going to go by much faster than we anticipate. And that means that I will be that much closer to paying off the mortgage of our house, which is also like something I guess that's exciting. I should make a celebratory scrapbook layout about that once we pay off that mortgage, that 30-year mortgage. We're basically just paying interest for the first 15 years or so. Good times. Anyway, welcome to home ownership. If anybody knows of a place where we can find an affordable home, that would be really great. We would love that. Now I'm just doing some title work. I used some Simple Stories foam alphas to do Reunited. And then I'm using some Pink Fresh Puffy alphas to do Sort of. I wish that they had parentheses, because I would have put the sort of in parentheses, but they didn't have that as part of the alpha collection. Some alpha collections do and some don't. But yeah, so Reunited sort of, because I wasn't really there in person and the three of them were. But yeah. And then I just grabbed, again, some stickers that said like woohoo. And one of them I'm popping up on some foam dots. Oh, happy day. Birthday themed, but not specifically birthday. Like you can use these pieces for anything. And I do still have some leftover stuff. And I think what I'm going to do with the leftover stuff is just paper punch it into circles, or cut it into squares, punch it into hexagons so that I have paper shapes at the ready and I can use them whenever I want for another layout. Just, the general pattern paper. I will save the embellishments because I'm sure there's going to come the time when, my daughter's birthday is going to come up, my birthday is coming up. I'm going to be doing other birthday layouts. So I will save those embellishments for birthday layouts, or maybe if I need to make like a quick card or something, I can do that too. But for the most part, all of the small bits of paper, if they're small enough, I'll paper punch them. That's usually what I do when I'm just trying to like make space in my stash. And if they're a little bit larger, I have started organizing my leftover papers by color. So I think I have pretty much every color of the rainbow, and I'll just take those larger paper scraps and plop them into a big Ziploc bag. And then when I'm like, oh, hey, I need, yellow, or I need something that's green, I'll go to that bag and I'll find a paper scrap that works. So that's how I do it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys do with your paper scraps, how you store them, anything fun that you like to do with them to quickly use them up. That's why I do the paper punching, because I think it's an easy way to use those pattern papers up and create fun like backgrounds for the layouts and make your own embellishments, that type of thing. So anyway, at the bottom of this page, I'm just creating a little embellishment pattern paper cluster because I just felt like there needed to be a little bit of something with the titling kind of going at the diagonal toward that bottom right-hand corner. I just wanted to kind of fill in that space just a little bit more. And I'm also going to be doing my journaling in between the title and this little bottom cluster. So really, I'm just trying to figure out like the right paper sizes for things that I need. I wanted to have a little banner thing sticking out and bring some of the pattern papers that were up in the top behind the photo down to the bottom as well, so everything ties in together very nicely. Did I do some inking on the edges of everything? Yes, I did. I used to use my black Hampton ink stamp pad, and I did ink the edges of stuff. I can't remember if you saw that because I was probably talking about my mortgage while it was happening. But yes, I did do the inking of the edges, and I think it stands out really nicely against white. I mean, you don't have to do that because a white background nothing's going to get like lost against the white backdrop. But I do think it makes stuff just like pop a little bit more. So yeah. I apologize that I didn't show you the paper tearing. I know a lot of people, some scrapbookers, do not like paper tearing and hate seeing it and hate the sound of it, and they can't imagine ever doing it. But I like paper tearing. I think it looks really cool. You could also I know they have like Tim Holtz has a tool, I think, where it distresses like the edges of your paper. So if you want to do a clean cut but then want to give it a distressed look, you can buy that tool. I think you can also kind of carefully do the same thing with scissors. I've done that before, just kind of like zhuzhing, like rubbing it against the edge of the paper and kind of like, I don't know. It sort of gives it a distressed look, but you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Just do it in a safe way. Don't get hurt. Don't cut yourself. Don't bleed all over your paper, especially white cardstock, because that would be not good. So yeah, I'm just doing my journaling there with a black Creative Memories pen. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm going to tell you the close-ups are going to follow so you can see things in a little more detail. Obviously, I'm splattering with that same color that I used on the stencil just to add that in a little bit more. If you liked this video and found it inspiring and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking subscribe. There's that squeezed lemonade. I love it. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on other scrapbook process videos and scrapbook stuff. And if you are a subscriber and you've made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for stopping by again. Let me know in the comments that you were here. Just say hi. And I love connecting with you guys through the comments too. So I look forward to chatting with you again another time for more scrapbooking. Bye.